All right, welcome back. So this semester we're going to be using Desmos a lot more, but we're going to be using a different kind of Desmos. The calculator we were using before is basically just to like add and subtract, but Desmos can do a lot more. There's a graphing calculator part of Desmos that we have never used before. So today we're going to focus on how do I use the calculator to help me on the test, because we are still taking the STAAR test. It is like, it seems far away, but it's actually right around the corner and we have a lot to learn. So we're going to let Desmos do a lot of the work for us and help us get our correct answers and pass the STAAR test. So with that in mind, a big portion of what we've been doing is graphing lines. And the calculator can graph a line for you and show you what it's going to look like. Now, the only important part is that if you are typing in an equation into Desmos, it has to be solved for y to type it in. That is why we've been focusing so much on make sure you know how to solve for y, because if you don't know, then you can't type it in. So like on number 1, it says, which is the graph of the equation below? Well, this one's already solved for y, so that's helpful. But sometimes our equations look like 2x minus 5y equals 17, okay? So you would have to solve this for y before you can just type it in. You need to make it look like how this looks, okay? Now in this one, we're just gonna type this in. Type in Desmos. Okay. And the Desmos that we're typing in is the exact kind you will be able to use on the STAAR test. So make sure that when you're doing these questions, you click on the link that I post in the day's page every day to make sure you're using the right one. So let's take a look at that. So so this is what the calculator looks like. So there's a little graph right here. It's waiting for you to type an equation in over here, and then it will show you what the line looks like. So I just click on that. And all I have to do is type. So you're using your keyboard, y equals the equation 3 over 2 x. Make sure when your x pops up that it's not in the bottom of the fraction, that it's next to it. It was 3 over 2 and then what? I forget. Plus 2. So then plus 2. And it shows you what the graph looks like. How nice is that? Now, when you're using this, make sure that we pick the correct graph. So what do I look at in this graph to compare it to my answer choices? Well, the things you should check. You should be checking the y-intercept. Is that in the same place? You should check the x-intercept. Where is it crossing the x? And you should check to see, like, how is the line slanted? Is it pointing up or is it pointing down, or how is it looking? Okay. So in this one, if I look at my graph on here, I see my y-intercept, and even if you hover your little mouse over, it even tells me, oh, the y-intercept is at 0, 2. So I'm going to look at my graphs and make sure that they are on 2. So my y-intercept here is on 2. That's good. This one's on -2. So I already know this is wrong because it's supposed to be on +2. I scroll down a little bit. This one's on +2, so that one's still good. This one's not even on a number, so I already know this is not correct. So that was my y-intercept. Let's check my x-intercept. So that's where it crosses the x, and it has a dot on there too. That's very nice. And it is a decimal, so it says -1.333. So it's gonna be in the middle-ish. So let's write down that number before I forget, -1.33. So it should be somewhere over here. Somewhere over here. Now this one, oh, the line does not go through this point. That's wrong. This one, oh, it goes through. Both of those are good. So this has to be my answer. Okay, make sure you're checking. Like this line isn't even slanted right. If I looked at this graph, this line was slanting up, and choice A was not slanting up. So the calculator is super helpful when you're just trying to identify a graph. Use it to help you, okay? So that's one aspect of the calculator. It can help you pick a graph. And we will be using this calculator a lot in our first unit after today, okay? Another thing it can help do is answer our function notation. It can give us a table given an equation. which is very nice. And we like tables. Tables are going to be very useful for us. So all you're going to have to do, given a question like this, now we've done this and we were like, oh, you got to plug 10 in where the X is and you get a number. Okay, there's an even easier way to do it. So all you're going to do is you take the little equation part and you're going to type that in Desmos, okay? So that was 6x minus 15. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to clear that out. If I push the X, that clears it out. So I'm going to put 6x minus 15, okay? And it shows me a graph. Now, a graph is not helpful when I want a number answer. So I want a table, okay? So how do I get a table? I'm going to click the little like wheel right there. And then it shows me a picture of a table. I want to convert this to a table. I don't necessarily need to see the graph. So convert to a table. And then it starts showing me some numbers in the table. Now, what number do I want to see? Well, let's look. I want to see this number in the table. And I want to see that as the X number. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type this number in. I'm in the X column. So instead of -2, I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to type 10. Whatever number shows up right here, that is the answer. So the answer is supposed to be 45. So over here, I'm going to put 45. It's that easy. That's all you have to do. Very easy. In the next one, I just have to change the equation every time and what X number I'm looking for. So in this one, I have exponents. So let's look at how do I type exponents in. So how do I change the equation? Well, now the equation is written up here, so I'm going to click up there. I'm going to delete that stuff. Now I want 2x squared. If I want an exponent, if you click the little keyboard or the keypad down there, that's where your exponent stuff is showing up. So squared, oh my gosh. And then plus 13x. Let's double check, make sure that's right. Yep. And then I want to look for the number -2. So in there, I'm going to delete, and I'm going to put -2. And the number it pops up is -18, so that means that is the answer. Okay. Next one, here's the equation. It has a fraction this time, so how do we type a fraction in? So I'm going to go up there, I'm going to delete that, and it was 5/2, so I can type on my keyboard 5/. I use the slash that's right next to the shift button. It also has a question mark on it. 2, and then I go over X, and then something I don't remember, -40. Okay, -40. You can always use the keypad if you're uncomfortable, and if you want the keypad to go away, you can push hide keypad and it will go away. So that is my equation this time. And what number did I want? I wanted a +6. So let's type +6 in the X. And it tells me the answer is -25. Very easy. And our last one, here's the equation. So I'm going to do 8 parentheses. Here, delete 8 parentheses, 12 minus X. It even closes the parentheses for you, which is nice. Enter. And then what number did I want? I wanted -5. So I'm going to type that as my X number over here, -5. And it tells me the answer is 136. Okay, so there's a lot of different aspects of the calculator that we're going to go over this semester, but these are some basic skills that you should be able to do using the calculator, and it's going to really help you make sure you're getting the correct answer so you can pass your STAAR test. So you can go ahead and open up the formative for today and go ahead and practice these skills.